We've got breaking news into the Big 12 as the remaining four corner schools, Arizona, Arizona State, and Utah, are all set to officially join the Big 12. Hey, how's it going, everybody? I am RC Maxfield here for the Back to 12 podcast. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to be a part of one of the fastest growing Big 12 communities here on YouTube. We'll be talking about Texas Tech football, Texas Tech men's basketball, but don't get it twisted. We'll be talking about the Big 12 as a whole as well, including sports betting on the Big 12 because, well, I work in the industry as well. So if you haven't already, join one of the fastest growing and most engaging Big 12 communities on YouTube right here in the Back to 12 podcast channel. But hey, y'all are here for the breaking news that Brett McMurphy of Action Network just confirmed. It is Arizona, Arizona State, and Utah officially joining Colorado from the Pac-12 and joining the Big 12. And now the Big 12 will have 16 teams and have all four of the four corner schools. When you look at this, there's a lot to digest, but I want to ask you guys one question. One word to describe Arizona, Arizona State, and Utah joining the Big 12 conference. Just simply give me one word, and while you're down there, you might as well like the video as well. For me, this is, one of those things we've talked about ad nauseum here on the channel. Obviously, Colorado was the first domino to fall, and I want to give credit to a guy that I followed a lot along the way, and Jason Shear, who has done a phenomenal job at Wildcat Authority with following the Arizona realignment rumors to the Big 12 as well as Arizona State. And now the domino of Utah is falling along, and the Big 12 is in a really good spot right now. But this comes after, just minutes after, the Big 10 officially announced that they are taking in Oregon and Washington. Both of the border regions for Oregon and Washington unanimously voted to move to the Big 10, and they will get partial shares, much like Nebraska did when they left the Big 12 to go to the Big 10. They'll get partial shares that will increase each year until 2030 when they are, available to get all of the big share of the pie in terms of their part of it anyway, when the new media deal is up for the Big 10. But as for the Big 12, this is a monumental day, right? Obviously, the Pac-12 is done. The final nail in the coffin has been, inserted, I guess, and the coffin is going into the ground, and they're putting dirt on it right now, right, when it comes to the Pac-12, which I'll admit, it does kind of suck for Washington State and Oregon State. But from the specific level of the Big 12, this is huge. Okay, you get the two-time defending Pac-12 champion in football. You get a school that is a sleeping giant in Tempe, Arizona, and the Sun Devils of Arizona State. And then obviously we all know what Arizona brings to the table on the hardwood when it comes to men's basketball. When this push comes to shove, right, the Big 12 will have the third largest league in the country 2 years after being really left for dead after Texas and Oklahoma announced they were leaving for the SEC. This is a monumental day for the Big 12, and you have to give a ton of credit to Brett Yormark in terms of what he has done as the commissioner of the Big 12. Now, a lot of people don't realize the four schools that are coming in this year to the Big 12 in terms of the UCFs, BYU, Houston, Cincinnati's, those were actually from Bob Bowlesby, but Brett Yormark applied the pressure and really started to grow the outreach of the Big 12 on a national scale, and he does so here, adding four corner schools, right? And you get Coach Prime, who is going to be one of the most talked about figures in college football until really the day he's not, right? You get the two-time defending Pac-12 champions in Utah, and I know a lot of people are upset that Utah's joining along, right? But then you get Arizona State, who I think if they got Crow, their president, gone, and they got somebody that actually gave a lick about sports, and I mean just like an iota of a damn about sports, they would pop off in terms of their athletic program at an even higher level that they've done at an inconsistent basis. And then obviously Arizona, I think they're going to be better than football moving forward in men's basketball. They're a national power, damn near a blue blood, right? So when you look at what is going on for the Big 12 and them moving forward, they are in a really solid spot. And I will say this, when you look at everything, and again, if you're just now kind of tuning into the video one more time, the breaking news in the Big 12 right now is Arizona and Arizona State are coming along to the Big 12 with Utah as well. So it will be 16 teams starting in 2024 for the Big 12, with Colorado joining as well, and then Oklahoma and Texas leaving for the SEC. This is what the updated Big 12 conference looks like. You can see it down there on your screen below. Arizona, Arizona State, Baylor, BYU, Cincinnati, Houston, Iowa State, Kansas, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, TCU, Texas Tech, UCF, Utah, and West Virginia. Again, I'm going to ask you one more time your one-word reaction to Arizona, Arizona State, and Utah leaving the Pac-12, or I guess it was like the Pac-5 at this point? Pac-7? I don't know what it was after Oregon and Washington officially left. But give me your one-word reaction to Arizona, Arizona State, and Utah officially joining the Big 12 alongside Colorado. And now all four corner schools have officially joined the conference. One of those things for me when it comes down to it is we talked about what each program is bringing, right? But I think it goes unsaid sometimes that you got to give a lot of credit to the Arizona president, Robert Robbins, okay? He understands the importance of athletics, but more importantly than that, I think this is good for Arizona, Arizona State, and Utah, just from a personal level, in the sense of, hey, they get to, keep that funding there, and they don't have to lay people off. They don't have to cut programs within their athletic department, right? And now they get to come to one of the most competitive leagues in America, specifically in college basketball on the men's side, and not to mention football as well is starting to pop off. You think of the Kansas States. TCU was in the college football playoff last year. We don't really want to talk about what happened in the national championship game, but football's looking a lot better now for the Big 12 as well. So when you look at what's going on, and I know there was a lot of backlash in terms of Arizona State and Utah saying this is laughable, we're never going to go to the Big 12 or lead the Pac-12. Well, life comes at you fast in conference realignment. And, Brett Yarmark kind of threw out a life-preserving vest right there to Arizona State and Utah. Arizona was always going to come. It was just, hey, are they going to bring, quote-unquote, what I've heard on Twitter? And again, I don't know the dynamic between Arizona and Arizona State. Look forward to learning it. But a lot of people are saying the little brother along, right? But Utah comes as well. And I think when it comes down to it, again, this is a great thing for the Big 12 because you add a football program in Utah that has had really damn near a lot of success, even dating back to their Mountain West days before they were in the Pac-12 with Alex Smith and all them. Arizona State, as I mentioned, I think if their president even cared a little bit about athletics, they are a sleeping giant waiting to happen. They could pop off in the athletics ranks. And then you get Arizona, and you know what they bring to the hardwood. But most importantly, you get the Holy War, right, which is huge. And then you get a market in Arizona, which I think on a national scale is probably a little bit underrated, right? You get the Phoenixes of the world, obviously Tucson, Tempe, where both universities are located, but you get an area of the country now where you have a firm footprint in the ground if you were the Big 12 in that mountain time zone region with Colorado, Utah, BYU, obviously Arizona, and Arizona State. Once again, the breaking news into the Big 12. Arizona, Arizona State, and Utah are officially set to join the Big 12 according to Action Network's Brett McMurphy. 16 teams in the Big 12. If I would have told you that 2 years ago after Oklahoma and Texas said they were leaving for the SEC, I promise you, you would have reported me to any foundation or anything or organization that gets people off the internet. But here we are. It's a testament to the perseverance and the determination of the commissioner and just really the Big 12 in general, Brett Yormark and the Big 12 overall. Now, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on to stay in the know on Big 12 realignment, Big 12 sports betting, and really just Big 12 sports in general here on the Back to 12 podcast channel.